Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Chandra Ballava Girivardhari Gopi Chandra Ballava Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Brajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Ballava Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Brajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, we are reading today from the Srimad-bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 3, Text number 12. We chant the Sanskrit. From the chapter is called Gajendra's Prayers of Surrender. Namah Shantaya Goraya Namah Shantaya Goraya Buddhaya Gunadharmine Buddhaya Gunadharmine Nirvisheshaya Samyaya Nirvisheshaya Samyaya Namo Jnana Gandhya Cha Namo Jnana Kanaya Cha Namah Shantaya Goraya Namah Shantaya Goraya Buddhaya Gunadharmine Buddhaya Gunadharmine Nirvisheshaya Samyaya Nirvisheshaya Samyaya Namo Jnana Kanaya Cha Namo Jnana Kanaya Cha. Okay, one more time. Namah Shantaya Goraya Namah Shantaya Goraya Buddhaya Gunadharmine Buddhaya Gunadharmine Nirvisheshaya Samyaya Nirvisheshaya Samyaya Namo Jnana Kanaya Cha Namo Jnana Kanaya Cha. So word for word synonyms. Namaha, all obeisances. All obeisances. Shantaya, unto he who is above all material qualities and completely peaceful. Peaceful. Or unto Vasudeva, the supersoul in every living entity. You hold the microphone closer to you, maybe. Let's see. Goraya, unto the fierce forms of the Lord, like Jamad Agnya and the Sringadev. Mudhaya, the form of the Lord as an animal, such as a boar. Such as the boar. Gunadharmine, who accepts different qualities within the material world. Nirvisheshaya, who is without material qualities, being fully spiritual. Samyaya, Lord Buddha, the form of nirvana, wherein the material qualities stop. Namaha, I offer my respectful obeisances Jnanaganaya, who is knowledge or the impersonal Brahman. Cha, also. Translation. I offer offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Vasudeva, who is all-pervading, to the Lord's fierce form as Lord Nrsingadev, to the Lord's form as an animal, Lord Varahadev, to Lord Dattatreya, who preaches impersonalism, to Lord Buddha, and to all the other incarnations. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord, who has no material qualities, but who accepts the three qualities, goodness, passion, and ignorance, within this material world. I also offer my respectful obeisances unto the impersonal Brahman effulgence. Let's repeat after me. I offer my respectful obeisances the impersonal Brahman effulgence. Okay. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In the previous verses, it has been described that although the Supreme Personality of Godhead has no material form, he accepts innumerable forms to favor his devotees and kill the demons. As stated in the Srimad-bhagavatam, there are so many incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that they are like the waves of a river. The waves of the river flow incessantly, and no one can count how many waves there are. Similarly, no one can calculate when and how the different incarnations of the Lord appear according to the necessities of time, place, and candidates. The Lord appears perpetually, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 7. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhutanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijam yaham. Quote, whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. End quote. In the material world, there's always a possibility of deviation from Krishna consciousness, and therefore Krishna and his devotees always act in various forms to curb such godlessness. Even impersonalists to stress the knowledge feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead want to merge in the effulgence of the Lord. Therefore, here the word Ganaya indicates that for atheists who disbelieve in the form and existence of the Lord, all these various incarnations appear. Since the Lord comes to teach in so many forms, no one can say that there is no God. the Lord comes in so many different forms, so obviously there has to be God. You cannot really deny that God exists. Yes. The word jnana ganaya is especially used here to refer to those whose knowledge has become solidified by dint of their searching for the Lord through speculative philosophical understanding. Superficial knowledge is useless for understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But when one's knowledge becomes extremely intense and deep, one understands Vasudeva Sarvam Iti Sa Mahatma Sadurlabhaha. A jnani attains this stage after many, many births. Therefore, the word jnana ganaya is used here. The word shantaya indicates that the Lord Vasudeva is situated in everyone's heart, but does not act within the living entity. Impersonalist jnanis realize Vasudeva when they are fully mature in knowledge. Vasudeva Sarvam Iti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabhaha. And then the translation again. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Vasudeva, who is all-pervading, to the Lord's fierce form as Lord Nrsingadev, to the Lord's form as an animal, Lord Varahadev, to Lord Dattatreya, who preached impersonalism, to Lord Buddha, and to all the other incarnations. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord, who has no material qualities, but who accepts the three qualities of goodness, passion, and ignorance within this material world. I also offer my respectful obeisances unto the impersonal Brahman effulgence. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gnanajana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Nena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So Srila Prabhupada quotes here this verse, Bhagavad Gita verse, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tadat manang srijam yaham. So whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise in irreligion, at that time I descend myself. So this is Lord Krishna is explaining why and when he comes. And there's so many incarnations, but each time he comes, it's for some purpose of establishing or reestablishing religion. It's for reestablishing religion. Otherwise, and Srila Prabhupada explains that the Lord he doesn't have to come. He's not forced to come. He comes on his own free will, and he's coming to convince the non-devotees, the atheistic non-devotees, that there is actually a God. Because there's a lot of people, more and more people, as especially as Kali Yuga goes on, there's more and more people they're just declared atheist. They say, yeah, I believe in religion. Atheism is my religion. I'm an atheist. That is my religion. For some people, religion means just some strong idea, some strong principle that you believe in, that you really believe in. So from their point of view, they're being religiously atheistic. But actual religion means the rules and regulations, the laws of God, and only God can make up the laws of God. We can't. No person can create laws and say and claim that they are the laws of God. The laws of God are available in the Vedas, and or the Manu Samhita, for example, which is called actually the law book for mankind, for humankind. These laws are there to help us to become civilized and become, devotees ultimately. So the Lord appears in this world for two reasons. One reason is to kill the demoniac persons who are opposed to believing in God or serving God. And the other reason is to give pleasure to his various devotees. And actually the killing of the demons, it could be done, he doesn't have to come here for that, really. He does it while he's here, but the Lord's main reason for coming is to give pleasure and encouragement and guidance for those who are his devotees. Jai Shri Shri Gaura-Nitai, Shri Shri Radha, Vriti Vihari, Jagannath, Balaram, Lady Subhadra, Lord Nishigade, Prahlad Maharaj Ki. That's his main reason for coming to the world, is to give pleasure to the devotees. Because for killing the non-devotees, he doesn't have to personally be here to kill them. He can send his Sudarshan Chakra. He can do so many things. He can empower the demigods. He could do anything for killing the demons. That is very easy. But he comes to save and protect and give guidance to his and encouragement to his devotees, and part of the way he does that is showing his devotees that he is, here I am, and I'm protecting you and I'm saving you. So the relationship between the Lord and the devotees increases in that way. And because when the Lord comes, every form that he comes in is something extraordinary. Every incarnation, he does something extraordinary. Every single one of them. So it's not. No one can claim that, oh, this is just a, this is just a strong human being or a strong or some exceptional mortal person that's doing something. The Lord actually does things extraordinary in his incarnations. Just like the one incarnation was the here it's mentioned in this verse, Lord Varaha. So Lord Varaha, he came at a time when a demon, what demon? Hiranyaksha, the brother of Hiranyakashipu, was here, and he was exploiting the earth in so many ways, and it's so much so that the earth that normally is floating out in space by the Lord's arrangement, it actually fell into the Garbhodak Ocean. So the Garbhodak Ocean is the water from the body of Garbhodaksha Vishnu, who was another incarnation. So the Lord, of course, we discussed before, the Lord appears in the universe in different forms. So there's Mahavishnu, and he creates all the universes. And then inside each universe, he appears as Garbhodaksha Vishnu. And in Garbhodaksha Vishnu, from water coming from his body, he fills up the universe, half the universe. The universe is not just just like an open space, and it just goes on and on and on forever. Each universe has a certain size. This particular universe that we're in, according to Vedic scriptures, is 4 billion miles wide on the inside. It's 4 billion miles wide on the inside. But the covering of it is much thicker than that. So the inside is 4 billion miles, and so Garbhodaksha Vishnu is inside this universe, and so on like that. So we were talking about Lord Varaha Dev, who is the boar incarnation. A boar means like a wild pig, is what it is. So the Lord can appear in any form, and he still remains transcendental. Usually in the material world, a pig is kind of a low animal. But when the Lord appears in that form as a boar, as a pig, he's transcendental. He has nothing to do with the modes of material nature. He appears to be. He has a form. He looks like in this case, as a boar or a pig, or some other form in other incarnations. He appears in these forms, but he is transcendental. He's not an animal. He's God who is appearing in this form, and he appears in this form for some particular purpose. So the boar, who is pigs in general in the material world, they like to be in dirty places. They're synonymous with being in dirty places and muddy places and just dirty places. So the Lord, for this particular purpose, he took on that form as a boar, and when the earth was actually fell into the Garbhodak ocean at the bottom half of the universe, this universe, then the Lord appeared and he picked up the earth. He went down to the bottom of the Garbhodak ocean. He was huge, this boar, and he went down there and he very easily picked up the earth on his tusk. His tusk, the big, like teeth. So he picked up the earth with his tusk. It appeared just like a little spot on his tusk. Imagine how big he is. And he placed it up, so it's floating in the sky. And then he went to fight with the demon Hiranyaksha. So they fought for a long time. The Lord was not in any difficulty. Sometimes though he would drop his club, or he would do something and make the demon thinking that he was that maybe the demon was winning, but actually the Lord was always fully in control. And when the time came and he was ready to kill the demon, he killed him without any difficulty at all. And this boar, he actually appeared as a little speck, a little tiny small thing coming from the nose of Lord Brahma. He just went there, and then he expanded himself like that. So this is not an ordinary pig. this is an incarnation of the Lord. The same thing with the Matsya avatar, the fish incarnation. He appeared. First, he was very small, like a little minnow, and there was one devotee. Who was it? Satyavrata Muni, I believe. And he asked the he asked this Muni to, take him out of the big water and put him in a little something else where he would be safe. He was asking like that, but then he started growing. So he was first in a little pot, and then very quickly he grew too big to be in that pot. So then he asked, please put me in something else that's bigger. So he kept going bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And finally he became so big that he was, there's nowhere else to go except in the ocean. And then this Matsya avatar, fish incarnation, he actually is credited with saving the Vedas, saving the. Sometimes we say the Vedas or the personified Vedas. Personified Vedas, that doesn't mean they're like books with arms and legs. They're actually personalities. They're devotees who are experts in the different aspects of the Vedas, and so the Lord appeared and saved them, saved these devotees, and saved the Vedas in that way. So again, the Lord appears, and then of course there are devotees who are specifically devotees of these particular incarnations, devotees of Matsya avatar, devotees of Varaha, devotee of Lord Nrsingadev, like Prahlad Maharaj, of course, is the most famous one. So all these incarnations are coming for that purpose of killing the demons and giving pleasure to their devotees. Yes. So, and Srila Prabhupada says here there's so many incarnations. So we have maybe 10 or 12 or 15 altogether that are mentioned in the Srimad-bhagavatam, different incarnations. But the Lord has so many incarnations. We don't even know how many incarnations are coming and appearing and coming and appearing and disappearing. We are the main ones are specifically mentioned that they are going to appear, when they're going to appear. Actually, the Lord always appears. All the incarnations are predicted. They're all in the Vedas, so it's well known. If one knows the Vedas, then they know when and where and how each incarnation will appear. Just like the Lord Krishna's appearance was predicted or was stated that he would come at a certain time, in a certain place. Lord Chaitanya's appearance was also predicted. It says that the Lord appears in Leela avatars or Leela avatars in only 3 ages, not in Kali Yuga. So Lord Chaitanya, he of course he appears in Kali Yuga for sure, but he's not considered to be. It's not a Leela avatar. He came for some other purpose. So so Lord Chaitanya is sometimes is not known when he appeared in the mood of a devotee, and of course his devotees, his pure devotees, they knew very well who he was. But we're reading in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Tomorrow we'll continue that reading. Different personalities didn't know him. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he doubted. He was told that Lord Chaitanya was actually not different from Krishna, but he couldn't believe it because he was pretty learned, and he knew that there was. They said no Leela avatars appearing in Kali Yuga. How can Lord Chaitanya be that person? But by the time we just recently, I think our last reading, he finally came to the conclusion. Yes, now I understand. Lord Chaitanya is actually not different from Krishna. So the Lord appears in all these different incarnations, and and there's one more incarnation, or at least one more incarnation that that is specified that will be coming, and that incarnation will be the Kalki incarnation. So in all the previous incarnations, the Lord comes, and usually there's some preaching. Usually they come to try to establish religious principles and so on, and that's his main purpose. But at the last incarnation of the age is Kalki incarnation, and Kalki, he'll come, he'll be born or appear in a Brahmana family. He'll ride all around on a big white horse, and he will be killing the demoniac people. Because at the end of Kali Yuga, there's no more preaching. You can't. There's those who are left, except for a few devotees that are hiding somewhere from the demons. There's no one left in the world who is good. There's no one who's capable. I mean, everyone's basically degraded themselves to animal life. So the Lord cannot preach. They're beyond that. So finally, at the end of Kali Yuga, then the Lord comes in that form of the Kalki incarnation, and he just kills almost everyone, at least everyone of demoniac nature. He kills them, and after he's killed all the demoniac people, which is probably most of the people of the earth of that time, then the small number of devotees that are still there somewhere hiding, they come out, and they are the first persons in the beginning of the next Satya Yuga. So this happens at the end of Kali Yuga, when it gets really degraded, and then just at that point, it all crosses over to the Satya Yuga again. It's a cycle, like seasons, summer, winter, fall, spring. It goes through a cycle. So the four ages go like that, and when the Kali Yuga ends, then the next mode of goodness, pure goodness age, which is Satya Yuga, then it comes about again. So the time it comes about is after Kalki kills all the below class people, and everyone there is advanced in spiritual life at the beginning of that age, and the duration of life in that age in the beginning is 100,000 years. The Kali Yuga ends, the duration of life is maybe about 25 years. You're considered to be very old at the end of Kali Yuga if you live to be 25 years old. And all of a sudden it all completely changes because after the Lord's Kalki incarnation kills the demoniac, people go back to performing sacrifices. There's no sinful activities, and the whole world immediately changes. And Srila Prabhupada always says that how do you improve the world? If people just became devotees, or if enough people became devotees, the whole world could change. Which is, of course, something we can strive for. Enough people means you get 1%. 1% of the world became serious devotees of Krishna, and the whole world could be transformed. But in reality, it's not likely in Kali Yuga that we're going to have 1% who are serious devotees of Krishna at any one time. But it could happen. It could happen. So and then there are these are the Vishnu Tattva incarnations, and then there are the Shakti Vesh avatars. Means they're personalities that are empowered by the Lord to perform some particular function for the Lord. Lord Buddha was such a personality. There was a purpose for him coming. He came to convince people. He came at a time that people were completely misusing and abusing the Vedic scriptures in the name of sacrifice. They were performing unlimited slaughtering of animals. The actual rule in the Vedas is that, okay, if you are going to eat meat, you shouldn't, but if you are going to, then you perform this particular sacrifice, you worship the goddess Kali, you take the animal you're going to kill, that you have to personally kill, like a goat perhaps, and you say to that goat before you kill it that now I'm going to kill you in front of the goddess Kali, but I know that in the future, my next lifetime, you're going to be coming back and killing me in the same way. See? So, and of course the purpose of all that is to make people want to give up eating meat and sinful life. But it got so much out of hand before Lord Buddha came, and the whole world was becoming so degraded in the name of Vedas, in the name of some option to do this in the Vedic scriptures. It became so degraded, and it was so bad for the people advancing and making any kind of advancement in spiritual life, that Lord Buddha himself came, and he told people that you stop this, stop the animal slaughter. And then they said, but the Vedas say it's okay, and they did under certain very strict circumstances. So he convinced them that reject those Vedas. I don't accept those Vedas. You just reject them. And then he taught, and of course he was empowered to do this. So then he taught them how to, his own style of we call nonviolence, where Buddha is known for nonviolence. So he did this. He taught them how to be nonviolent, but he had rejected the Vedas, so they couldn't. There's no way they're going to become God conscious without the Vedas. So in time, then there are others who came. Sankaracharya came to convince people to accept the Vedas, but accept it with this strong impersonalist interpretation. And then the different acharyas that came to convince people to Ramanujacharya. So he had a philosophy called Vishishta Advaita. Advaita means not dual. So it was like a variation of the Mayavadi philosophy, but it started accepting God as a part of the philosophy. And then Madhvacharya had his philosophy, and then different acharyas came and they taught different things. And what they were actually doing was each one was trying to help the people in general come a little bit closer to where they can they can accept the Vedas for what they are. And finally, Lord Chaitanya took all their different points, and with his philosophy, which is called a Chintya Veda Veda Tattva, simultaneously, one in difference, simultaneously. He taught that, and he was able to convince people this is a very important philosophy, which is the philosophy that we follow. It means there's God, there's a living entity. We have some similarity with God, which we have to have, otherwise there's no relationship. We use the term parts and parcel. It means we're individual, and our existence depends on God. So we are eternal, we are full of knowledge, and we are blissful by nature, and so is God. And that without that simultaneously one in difference, then there's no question of devotional service. It can't happen. So this is a very important philosophy which we have been taught, and we're trying to live by it. And we should, as I was mentioning the other day, we should become familiar enough with that philosophy and the previous philosophies that the other acharyas taught, and be able to explain why this one is superior, why Lord Chaitanya's philosophy is the best, the one that will actually take us back home, back to Godhead. So I started a little bit late today. I was addressing the deities of myself today, so we were a little bit late. But now at this point, I think I have to stop unless there's any quick questions anyone has. Okay, no one here. And nothing showing on the screen here. So I think we'll end here for now. Tomorrow we read Chaitanya Charitamrita. We'll continue with the chapter about the liberation of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Okay, thank you for coming, everyone who's come. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.